What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Ranger Central, and today we are going to move on in the trade deadline videos as we are in day 3 of 4 of this. I might drop the second one later today. I'm not sure, just because of the fact that the Rangers, it feels, are really starting to get into a need for a trade rather than it just being a desire. Later, I might be doing a podcast episode as well, so be on the lookout there. With my co-hosts Nico, Matt, and Nick. I'm not 100% sure yet if we're going to, but yeah, we'll be talking probably further about certain things. But if you do want to check that out, go check it out. But before we jump further into this, leave a like on the video if you do enjoy. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially if you're Ranger fans and you don't want to miss tomorrow. So turn on your notifications, if not the next day or later today, whenever it is. I'm going to drop the forward list, like the big fish forward list. So that's going to be where we get into some of the bigger names in terms of these players. Granted, there are big names on here, mostly only one, but we'll talk about it. And yeah, let's just not waste any more time. And the first player we are going to talk about, not sure his availability. And I'll be honest, this was hard to do with defensemen because there's not a lot of options, like I was saying. But yeah, like Jakob Chychrun, that's the option that I'm referring to here of the Ottawa Senators. And I would love it to happen, but he does have an extra year, so I am not saying that's going to be a guarantee that he's going to be moved. But if there is the possibility, because Ottawa is just not good enough, 35 games played, 7 goals, 18 assists for 25 points, only a -4 on a bad Ottawa team. For 18 PIM, on the year so far, averages a lot of ice time, 22 minutes, about that. So he could log a good amount of minutes for this hockey team. You look at the metrics, all of it backs up that he is really good on both ends of the ice. He brings good offense, brings good defense. Then if you look at where he would rank in miscellaneous stats, 14th on the Rangers in hits per 60, 5th in block shots per 60 for the Rangers, and 15th in takeaways per 60. He is not by any means a stay-at-home defenseman, if you will. He is more of a guy that is going to, play an offensive style of game, but he also does bring a good defensive side of the defensive play. He brings good defensive play as well, so it's not like you're getting just a one-dimensional player here like Erik Gustafsson, where, it's pretty much all offense and you occasionally get some defensive efforts, but it's not on a consistent basis. With Jakob Chychrun, you're probably going to get more consistent defense, but you also get someone that could quarterback the second power play as well if you do want to put him on there. So it gives you another option if you want to rotate things around there, or if anyone, heaven forbid, gets hurt, or if Gustafsson just comes out of the lineup for Chychrun, you have more options. And I think him playing next to Adam Fox would be beautiful. It would be almost too good to be true. So probably not going to happen, unfortunately, but I thought I'd mention him in case he becomes available because he would probably be the best option. But yeah, Jakob Chychrun. Next up, we have a defenseman that, shout out to Matt, my co-host, put me on, and that is Shawn Walker of the Philadelphia Flyers. Another one that might be difficult because the Flyers might make the playoffs, and Shawn Walker has just been good in division trades, all of that. But Shawn Walker, man, has he been good this year for the Philadelphia Flyers. Probably going to get a career high in points for a defenseman, which is pretty solid. 39 games played, has 13 points, 4 goals, 9 assists, +5, 22 PIMs on the year. Averages about 20 minutes of ice time, so it's weird that he's getting more ice time and seems to be better, because usually guys that get sheltered more end up being better. But Shawn Walker thrives playing bigger minutes, and you look at all of the charts as well, and it shows you that he is just a beast on both sides of the puck. His J-Fresh model is a little bit down in his defense, being in the 55th percentile. So a little down in terms of what he's actually providing this year, because Andy and Rono has him in the 64th. And then Evolving Hockey, his defense is pretty blue. So you're getting some good defensive play, and he brings good offensive play just like Chychrun. I kind of prefer Shawn Walker maybe more than Jakob Chychrun if it's an option. Call me crazy, but the only reason Chychrun you might want more is because he has the extra year. Then you could maneuver your way with Ryan Lindgren and he becomes expendable. But that's another conversation for another time if that happens. But with Shawn Walker, he would be 8th on the Rangers in hits per 60, 5th in block shots per 60, and 13th in takeaways per 60. So yeah, he's a pretty physical guy as well. And like I mentioned, blocks some shots. He would be such a good add for this Rangers blue line. And he's playing, it says, third pair on his J-Fresh card. I don't know if that's true, if he's getting 20 minutes of ice time. But yeah, Shawn Walker, he has just been underratedly good for the Philadelphia Flyers, and I think it would be perfect fit. And you know what? Maybe he doesn't want to play in Philly. Sorry, that might have been too soon, Philly fans. Not that any Philly fans are watching this, but yeah, Shawn Walker, that was my option there, and probably my favorite one out of this video, to be honest. Now we have a guy that nobody talks about because he plays for Nashville, just like most of the guys I've talked about in these videos. But yeah, on Nashville Predators, we have Alexander Carrier, and this could be a realistic option because I don't think Nashville is going to make the playoffs, and I think they do end up selling. But regardless, let's talk about him. In 36 games played this year, has 10 points, 1 goal, and 9 assists, 22 PIMs on the year, and he's getting about 18 minutes of ice time, so probably like second pair minutes there. And he does shoot right-handed, so it would make things a little interesting because that would probably mean Schneider would come out of the lineup instead for a guy like this. So he would be getting on the third pair, would be getting his minutes sheltered. All the models say he is a positive defensive player and offensive player. The only thing down in his evolving hockey model is his Corsi, but Nashville's not really a high Corsi team. They kind of thrive more off of the rush, so you kind of expect something like that from him, which, by the way, the Rangers would love a defenseman that could break the puck out. I'm not sure how he is in terms of that, but I mean, you gotta be doing something right if you're looking good offensively, and you know the numbers are better with your team on the ice, with you on the ice, I should say. You gotta be doing something right in terms of puck breakouts there. But yeah, if you look at the JFresh model, in the 78th percentile in WAR, even strength offense 60th, and 81st in terms of even strength defense. He could kill penalties too. And if you look at the miscellaneous, 10th on the Rangers in hits per 60, 3rd in block shots per 60, and 15th for takeaways per 60. So he would be, again, another one where he would get less minutes. So, or I shouldn't say another one because he is not like Chychrun and Walker, who would probably get more minutes. He would probably get less minutes because he would be playing on the bottom pair. But he would definitely be a solid add and I think provide a little more stability in terms of the back end play. And I think he would just bring better play overall. I think he brings a better offensive game than what Braden Schneider provides right now. And I think he gives a better defensive game too than what Schneider provides right now. It's no knock on Schneider. Schneider does have the ceiling, but if you're trying to win this year, you got to get guys and make moves to help you contend this year. And if it means Schneider has to sit in the press box or even be dealt, Alexander Carrier would not be a bad add for the Rangers to add to the right side. So yeah, Alex Carrier, that's my next option there. Next up, we have a guy that I'm not a big believer in like most are, and I think this is going to be the favorite option amongst people in the comments. We have Noah Hanifin of the Calgary Flames, and I'm kind of not sold just because of the fact that you go in depth and look at how he's been the past 2 seasons, and it's kind of questionable, but then you could also say, all right, well, it's mostly the Calgary Flames just not being that great of a team. Plus, he would probably get less minutes here, or he might play with Fox. I don't know, but this year in 40 games played, he has 6 goals, 13 assists for 19 points, so you're already getting an upgrade over Ryan Lindgren in terms of offensive production. Only 18 PIMs on the year, and he could play first pair minutes. He's done it pretty much his whole career, and he's been as high as 48 points before, so he does add a little more offense. It's just you're probably going to take a hit defensively, although his defensive metrics aren't that far off in terms of where Ryan Lindgren's at this year, since Lindgren's having a down year. So you get some solid play, and you know what? Maybe with the Rangers, he gets his defensive edge back because he's been a positive defensive player throughout his career, but he's mostly known for the offense that he could bring on the back end. That's the main thing, but he still isn't bad at the miscellaneous too. Like, he is a little physical, 14th in hits per 60. That's where he would be on the Rangers. 6th in block shots per 60, so he does block some shots, and then 7th in takeaways per 60. And I think the biggest thing with Noah Hanifin versus, you know, some of the other guys that I have talked about here, like Chychrun, Walker, Carrier, some of those guys do have playoff experience, but not at the level Noah Hanifin does. And Noah Hanifin, I'm not here to claim he has the most playoff experience, 27 playoff games, but I'm pretty sure it's more than what the other guys have. I could be wrong on that one, but he does have a decent amount of playoff experience at the very least, so I know people love to rave about that. I think it's not that big of a deal, but I do think that Noah Hanifin would be a very good add for the top pair on the blue line. So yeah, that's the next option there. Now we have a guy that is on the same team as Noah Hanifin, the Calgary Flames. that I do believe more in, and that is Chris Tanev. And the reason why I believe more, because you might look at the points and be like, why would you want Chris Tanev over a guy like Noah Hanifin or some of these other guys? Well, the reason why for Chris Tanev, why I would want a guy like this is his defensive play is so good, and he still does bring solid offense. Nothing great. In 37 games played, has 1 goal, 6 assists, 7 points, a +4 on the year. And he only has 10 PIMs right now in the year. He's averaging about 19 minutes of ice time, so he's getting more than he probably should. He would be on the third pair. There's another guy that plays the right shot. And you look at his models this year in terms of analytics on Evolving Hockey and Andy Rono, and they're not exactly the best looking, but if you go to the year before, the positive impact he has on the defensive side, and then even last year, it shows his point total should have been higher than it were, because his expected goals for per 60 was very much in the blue. It's just that, again, you know, Calgary was kind of bad last year, if you didn't know. But yeah, and then you look at his JFresh card, 100th percentile in even strength defense, kills penalties, 98th percentile in WAR, and his offense is still in the 52nd percentile. So you're getting good play on both sides, and he doesn't take too many penalties for a guy that is somewhat physical. He's not as physical as he's been in years prior. Kind of shocked me his miscellaneous stats. He would be 14th on the Rangers in hits per 60, but he would be first in block shots per 60. We love a good block shot around here. And then 15th in takeaways per 60. I think he would be such a good add in terms of adding someone that would be stable to that third pair, especially if Gustafsson is going to continue to get the reps and continue to play on the left side. You need a guy that is going to bring better defensive play on a night-to-night basis than Braden Schneider. And Chris Tanev, yeah, I think he would be perfect in terms of a guy that brings very good defensive play. So, yeah, that's my take on Chris Tanev. Next up, we have not my favorite option out of these, but he is worth mentioning because he's on a bad team, and that's Ilya Lyubushkin of the Anaheim Ducks. And a lot of you probably haven't even heard of him because he kind of just had quiet years, and he's kind of been bounced around. He was with Arizona for a bit, spent a year in Toronto, went to Buffalo last year, and now he's with the Ducks. And in 39 games played, no goals, 4 assists for 4 points. That's kind of the Lyubushkin thing. Only in a -5, which isn't bad, but 47 PIMs. Pretty sure the guy does fight a lot. I mean, he is physical. He's getting more ice time, though, than he should. Anaheim is playing him way too much. He's getting 17 minutes. He needs to be getting way less than that. Not way less, but like 2 more minutes less. His Andy Rono model will tell you that he is garbage. I'll be completely honest. It'll tell you he's garbage. Same with the Evolving Hockey model. But if you look at last year, it's not nearly as bad, but he has played for bad teams 2 years in a row. And then you look at the JFresh model, his even strength defense is in the 65th percentile, and then everything else is abysmal. I will not sugarcoat it, but he would be 5th on the Rangers in hits per 60, 1st in block shots per 60, and 10th in takeaways per 60. So one of the better guys in the miscellaneous stats, funny enough, for a guy that isn't really popping off the charts or, you know, the best or sexiest name. I'm not sold on Ilya Lyubushkin. I think he would be fine to add if the Rangers are looking to only add a 7th defenseman instead of a guy that is actually going to play on a night-to-night basis. Granted, I think they need more of a guy that would play on a night-to-night basis, but if they're going to get a 7th guy and just that, Lyubushkin would not be a bad option in my opinion, so I wouldn't hate it at all. I think Lyubushkin would be, you know, just an okay add. It really would depend what type of role he would get, but if he was to get an every game role, then we'd kind of have a problem there. But yeah, that's Ilya Lyubushkin for you. Last up, we have another guy that's probably unrealistic, but I wanted to mention him because of the fact that there were scouts in the building when the Islanders played his team at one point earlier in the year, and that is Rasmus Sandin of the Washington Capitals. And those scouts couldn't have been there for many players, definitely not for Islander players, so it's got to be Washington players. And Rasmus Sandin could be an option. He's an RFA at the end of the year, which makes it a little more tricky and a little more questionable of if it could actually happen. But I am a Rasmus Sandin truther, and I think that this guy reuniting with Peter Laviolette behind the bench again would be miracles and would do wonders on him and revitalize his career even more than, you know, he's had good years in the past. This is not me saying that he's been bad, but I think that it will truly unlock him playing for Laviolette full time. He only got to for 19 games last year and put up 15 points. Really good numbers there. The defensive metrics weren't the best and weren't in his favor, but still, he was good enough defensively, and he brought such great offensive value to the table. In 36 games played this year, he has no goals, 11 assists for 11 points, obviously, -8 on the year, only 12 PIMs. He's not a physical guy. He's playing more minutes than he should. He's getting 22 minutes of ice time. He would be lower in the lineup. The Andy Rono metric chart tells you that he stinks this year, but if you look at last year, his offensive game was so impactful, and even the evolving hockey model tells you that his offense is so impactful. The JFresh model, his even strength defense, or offense, I should say, 94th percentile. His defense could go up, and I think that it has potential to grow and be better. I don't think Rasmus Sandin is done hitting, unlocking levels here, I should say, if you want to. He's only 23 years old still, and people forget about that because he's kind of been playing for a very long time at this point, actually. He's been playing since 2019, 2020 for the Leafs. So, yeah, and you look at the miscellaneous stats, he would be 11th in hits per 60, 3rd on the team in block shots per 60, and 15th in takeaways per 60. So, it would be more of a fun ad. I don't think it's realistic as much because I think Washington would want to keep a guy like this because of the potential there. But you never know. It's fun to throw hypotheticals out there. And yeah, Rasmus Sandin would just be a fun ad in my opinion. But that's really all I got in terms of the defenseman with this. I don't really think there's any much in terms of options out there, unfortunately. I kind of struggled putting together this list, but I really do appreciate all of you guys and would like to hear from you guys who your favorite person or favorite player, I should say, from this this group of players is. Who is your favorite? Who would you want the most? Who would you not want? Would you be okay with any of these? Let me know your thoughts all in the comment section down below of these players. Would love to hear from you guys. Don't forget to leave a like on the video if you haven't already. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially if you're Ranger fans. Turn on your notifications so you know when I upload or go live next. And I'll see you in the next one. Let's go Rangers.